What's up, y'all? It's Andy, EPS Garage, and I got a cool little unique project that fell into my lap, and I wanted to share it with you. Basically, what I got here is some spice racks. Not any spice racks, though. This customer uses these little yogurt jars. At the store, they come with just a little foil top. It's really good yogurt, by the way, because I bought these jars from there just so I had some jars from the design and so forth. And she uses these for spice jars. On Amazon, you can actually buy lids that are made for these jars. So that's cool. The only thing that she can't find is a spice rack to hold the jars. So that's where I fell in. She needed somebody to make her one. I went ahead and made a simple design. It holds 8 jars total, 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. This is going on her counter. She didn't want it too big and clunky and taking up the whole counter. So she was really good with this design after I ran it by her. Also, she wanted the flame kiss is what I call it, with a torch burning it. It's a very popular thing that people like. A lot of my items, I do that. They sell really well. If you're not trying that, you might want to try it. But anyways, in this video, I'll show you how I made these. I'll put some general little drawing up there, and I'll put the dimensions in the description, as well as the little lids. This might be a cool little item to try out. Make you 1 or 2 of them at your market and put it out there. It's very unique. People can buy more jars if they want. You could either sell it as just a single item, or you could sell it with the jars. Buy the lids, buy the jars. The lids come with little labels too. So you can put the labels on here and write whatever spice is in there. I thought it was a cool, unique idea. And I'm happy that I was able to make these for her. Hope you all enjoy the video.
Well, I had to get an idea what I was going to do, so I started by a quick sketch on this brown paper that was already on my desk, and then once I kind of had an idea, I went to my graph paper and I actually drew out a more legitimate drawing. I don't have any computer program as of right now, so I use graph paper and it works out well for me. Oh, and I needed empty jars, so I had to start eating yogurt, which was very good, by the way. And let's get this show on the road. I started by cutting the backboard pieces to size, and then of course these are going to be jointed. I use some double-sided tape to attach these boards to my little jig so I can joint edge these boards so they glue up nicely together, and then from there I can let that dry after I clamp them up. I did use some cawls in order to keep this nice and straight. Not much material. I didn't want to have to run it through my planer. And for this design, I'm going to need to cut some dado grooves. I ended up putting together my dado stack, and I only needed to set it up for a 1/2 inch, and it worked out perfect. No extra little shims. Fit very nicely for this 1/2 inch material.
I like to be pretty candid on when I make mistakes, and I made a mistake. And 9 out of 10 times my mistake is not double checking a measurement or the print. I mean, I have it right here. I was supposed to make my groove 4 1/4, and what I did is 4. And it's funny too, because when I was making the groove, I was like, oh, I gotta account for the 1/2 inch bottom board because I'm gonna have, you know, the rabbit down there. So I added a 1/4 or 1/2 inch to the 4, but that still made me short. I should have added a 1/2 inch to the 4 1/4, so it should have been 4 3/4. So whatever, this thing you go buy into the piece. Trial and error, it just frustrates me because I'm always making the same mistakes of not checking numbers. I get in a rush, I want to see how it's going to work out. So check your stuff twice, y'all. Corrected my mistake, I think. It turned out to be okay though, because I was able to use that as a prototype. You know, I was able to put the pieces together, kind of give me an idea of how this is actually going to work in real life and not on paper. I'm glad I had that opportunity actually, because I did make some adjustments. I increased some heights, and that's going to make this a lot better in the end run. I do have all my pieces cut. These are 13 1/4 by 10. This is going to be the back piece. The shelf, you're only going to need 1. I'm building 2, and all this is 1/2 inch material. This one is going to be 4 by 12 3/4. This bottom piece is going to be 4 1/4 by 12 3/4, because you need that little extra lip for the for it setting this rabbit on the back. As for the shelves, these are 4 by 8.5. I cut my dado for the shelf at 5.5 inches off of the bottom. So that'll give me plenty of room to put the jars in and out of the shelf. Whenever you're cutting these dados, make sure you're cutting them where they match up. Really, honestly, if you wanted to cut them like that with these put together.
Hold up, Andy. It seems I forgot to talk about these grooves when I was talking about this piece. Those grooves are going to be for the little front retainer piece so the jars can't slide out. Instead of doing a dowel rod, I went with 1/2 inch little pieces that'll fit in those grooves just perfectly. All right, continue.
Cut this groove and then cut them as you need to like that. You're going to be sure that you have 2 opposite mirrored pieces, whereas I didn't do that on here. I got to just cutting and I made a mistake. So as you can see here, I have a spot there, but the other one's on the opposite side. But that's fine. I've got to make a third one of these anyway, so this will go to the third one. Not a big deal. But if I wasn't making a third one, I would have just wasted more wood than I already did. Just something for you to keep in mind. Time to glue up.
Before my glue up, I decided I better sand these before I glue them up, because once you get this all glued up, you're not going to have much room to sand. So that's what I did here, and I sanded all these down to 120 grit. Then after that, I could glue it up. The glue up was a little tricky, but the beauty with the dados is it kind of lines everything up, and I only used brad nails on the back piece to hold it in place and made sure everything was square, and some clamps. It glued up really nice, no issues at all. I like it. I feel like it turned out pretty good. From there, I did a final sand on the outside, kind of round over some of them corners and just make sure everything's all nice and smooth, including my joints.
All right, got it sanded down. And basically, here it is in a nutshell. It's before any kind of decoration or anything. You can do whatever you want. You could stain it, you could paint it, whatever you want to do. This customer specifically wants the torch burned, and then I'll put a clear coat on it. There is one more thing though. With this type of joinery that I did, and I didn't have to do it this way, I just think it's a very sturdy way to do it. It's going to leave you this little notch here at the end. And I'll tell you an easy way to fix that. You remember I had those scrap pieces. Well, that piece that I cut is the exact same depth and width as this notch. So I went ahead and cut that off on the table saw, and then it'll fit perfectly in this notch. Now what you could do, because hopefully you're not anticipating a mistake, is whenever you're cutting these pieces, just cut you an extra one and have you a little bit of extra to use for this later on your piece. And it'll save you a little bit of time, but it fits perfectly in there. Just like that. Put a little bit of glue, let it dry, take your flush trim saw or whatever you got, trim it off and sand it, and perfect.
And the final touch is to kiss it with the flames. Lots of people love this, like I've told y'all before. They always sell. And the customer was really, really happy with this. And I thought it was a really cool idea. So that's why I wanted to share it with y'all. I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure if you like it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. See y'all next time.